My name is Reagan Williams, and I am with the group Focus Drones, and this is my report over the introduction and the earnings per share. So for the introduction, our name was Focused Drones Inc., and we were Group F, and our co-managers are Hannah Van Cleve, Tyler Munden, Austin Mullenix, and myself, Reagan Williams. Our topics that we are going to cover are going to be earnings per share, return on equity, stock price, credit rating, image rating, and corporate social responsibility and citizenship, and we are going to go over the best and worst years for each topic, and then we're going to have a conclusion. So for earnings per share, kind of just an overview, it was the first metric used in the simulation for performance. There were 5. It is expressed as a dollar amount, and so the equation is going to be net income minus preferred dividends, and then that number is divided by the average outstanding common shares of stock. And then it kind of determined how profitable the company was. So it's going to show the profit per share of common stock. And it's really asking the question, or I guess answering the question of what is the company's true profitability. And then we are going to see that we met the investors' expectations 5 out of the 7 years of the simulation. So this is going to be the graph for the earnings per share over the entire simulation, and so you're going to see that we started in year 5 and we gradually progressed upward until about year 10. We made a dip down and then we shot back up for years 11 and 12. So we're going to see that year 12 was the best year for earnings per share. Year 12 is the one that yielded the best results as far as earning per share goes. It was the 3rd highest earnings per share amongst all of the different groups in the simulation, with a total of $9.69 per share, which was $1.19 per share over the investors' expectations for that year. And then how we got this was we repurchased stock. We repurchased 1,000 shares, and so that was the only change that we made that year, strictly for increasing the earnings per share and return on equity. And so if you look back at the equation, you can see kind of how we did that. So the net income minus preferred dividends is the first part of the equation, but then you see this average outstanding common stock shares. And so when we repurchased those, this number went down, and so that's what then made our earnings per share and our return on equity higher. And so this is going to be our graph for our best year, which was year 12. And so you can see year 12 here on the graph with our 9.69. And then you can see that it was definitely our highest year. And then what you don't see on the graph is that it was our best year for meeting investors' expectations. Next, we will look at our worst year for Focused Drones. And so our worst year that yielded the worst results is going to be year 10. We had the 2nd lowest earnings per share, so we didn't have the lowest earnings per share out of the entire simulation, but we did have 2nd lowest with $2.95 per share for the overall amount. And that was actually $2.55 per share less than the investors' expectations, which is pretty close to our actual earning per share number. But the reasons for the decrease was definitely the recession. That was the main reason for our worst year's results. But another thing that we did as well was we paid off the outstanding loans, and so that reduced the interest expense and the liabilities, which in return decreased the earnings per share as well as the return on equity. And so how we kind of helped out this situation for ourselves is we repurchased stock again, and so we bought back 1,050 shares which again reduced the shares outstanding, which is this number here. And so as the bottom number decreases, then the earnings per share is going to increase. And so that's how we kind of combated the situation a little bit. And so what you're going to see here is going to be the graph of our worst year. And so you're going to see that it was year 10 right here with the 2.95 per share. Now you're going to also see that this wasn't necessarily our worst performance year as far as earnings per share total number goes, but what you don't see on the graph is that it was our worst year as far as meeting investors' expectations. We were the furthest from the investors' expectations in year 10 than any other year throughout the simulation. And so that is going to wrap up the earnings per share. Thank you.